And you can see an example of my finished Arpillera. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the last few steps on to add details to create your story for your Arpillera. We're definitely missing some details. So let's go ahead and find our artwork from last week. And since it's been a while since we've looked at it, let's double check our layers. We have a layer of our sky, a layer of our mountains, and a layer of our ground or grass. Today you're definitely going to need to start some new layers, so I'm just going to add a few. And I'm going to select this top layer right now. And the tool that I'm mainly going to be using today is this tool that has the letter A on it, and it has those dots. So this is one of my favorite tools because when you're drawing with it, you have several options. For example, it gives you different textures when you're drawing, and this one I'm going to select the solid green square. If I draw a circle, it will automatically fill it in for me. That means I don't have to draw a circle and color it in on my own. It just draws it for me, and I love that because it saves some time. So this would be great for drawing, oops, you can see when I tapped it, it filled in the whole thing. I do not want that, so I press the back arrow button. This would be great to use for clouds. For example, I'm going to draw some fluffy clouds here. You could draw an airplane. The whole point today is to create a story, so you can control your story and what you'd like. I'm going to draw in a different layer now. I'm going to use the same tool, except I'm going to go over to the shape option right here. You can see the shape, and that gives you pre-made shapes, but I don't want it white. I would like to switch the color to black. And fun fact about Miss Chen, my dream is to live in a tiny home. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a very, very small house. And it's a very minimal way of living. So I'm creating a tiny home in my Arpillera. And I'm going to switch my color and use a gray triangle. And each time you pull out a shape, you want to make sure you hit the check mark button to select and confirm the size. I'm going to switch to a drawing tool and add some fun details to my tiny home. And then I'm going to add a nice little door. Now I want you to notice, let's see, I'm going to switch back to the dot tool and I'm going to use a texture. I want you to notice what happens when I draw my door. You can't see it very well. And why that is because it's underneath. So I'm going to press the back arrow button, and I'm actually going to draw the door on a different layer. And let's see if it shows up better this time. Let's make sure it's selected. Oop. Huh, that's funny that it's still not showing. Oh, you know why? That's because the layer needs to be moved on top. So I pressed it down and I dragged it. And I don't want to merge layers. I'm trying to move the layer in between. There we go. And now you can see that the door is there. I'm actually going to erase that and draw it one more time. So that's why it was not showing up. Even sometimes Miss Chen forgets about her layers. All right, so that showed up because the door layer is on top of the house. So now we've got that fixed. The last thing I'm going to show you is importing a photo. So let's say you want to put in a picture of yourself in your Arpillera. You could do that. I'm actually going to import a photo of my puppies. So I'm going to import a photo of Zero. And I'm going to size it down because he is way too big. And very similar to last week, I'm going to hit the check mark button. And also let me make sure I'm in a good layer. I think that's a good layer. I'm going to go ahead and use the cutting tool and trace around Zero. Oop, I was in the wrong tool. I need to be in the cutting tool. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trace all the way around. Using my 2 fingers, I'm going to pinch. Oops, it did not work. Let me try that one more time. Thank you for your patience. All right. 3rd time's the charm, right? So I pulled them out by dragging my 2 fingers, and I'm actually going to erase the rest of the background. And what's nice about being in a different layer is when I erase it, I'm not erasing the clouds, I'm not erasing the house because I'm in a completely different layer. Using the cutting tool again, I'm going to draw around or cut around, and using my 2 fingers, I'm going to, or using my 1 finger, I'm going to drag and put them next to the house. And I'm going to go back in with my eraser and clean it up a little bit more. So I would go ahead and do this step for anything else that I want to add. You can totally customize it. It's super fun, and I can't wait to see how your Arpillera story comes out. I'm going to show my finished example again.